Hey everyone, it's Jesse from Average Ontario Anglers. I have out my 14-foot Sportspal. We're adding some rod holders onto it, but we've actually had it out 10 times, which is crazy. So I'm going to give you my honest thoughts on what I think about this thing after 10 fishing trips. When I wanted to buy my next craft, I had a 12.5-foot sit-on-top kayak, which was great. But when I wanted to get the next step up, I wanted to get something powered, trolling motor or a gas motor. I had a lot of options and I did a lot of research, and I was looking at kayaks and inflatable boats and everything, and after a lot of research, I settled on this, and it wasn't even just settled on. This thing 100% clicked to my mind. It was perfect. It was great. Again, I talked to a lot of people and I was hard pressed to find any bad things that anyone could say about a Sportspal. Now to start off, these Sportspals, they've been making them for decades and decades. My grandpa had one back in the day. They're really old. They've been making these in North Bay, Ontario, which we're from Ontario, so it's great to support local. But they're handmade. They're aluminum canoes, so they're really light. And this particular model, the 14-foot wide transom, we picked up at Freedom Canoe and Kayak in Barrie. It was $1,500, $1,500. So that may be expensive to you, that may be cheap. I find the price reasonable for what it is. So there's a few reasons why I picked a canoe over a kayak, and I'm going to tell you now. So one reason is I fish a lot with another person, my wife, my nephew, my fishing buddy. So having a kayak was annoying. We'd always have to bring 2 cars if we both had kayaks. This is just one shot. There's 2 seats, even a third seat I can add up here. You can fish with multiple people. So if you have a family, you have kids, or you want to take someone with you, a canoe is a much better option than a kayak. Another reason was my last kayak was very, very heavy. It was 96 pounds, and if you get a big, stable, sit-on-top kayak, that's pretty standard. They're all up there. They're 80, 90, 100, 120 pounds, some of them. They're super heavy. If you're a small person, or if you have a bad shoulder or bad back, like myself, I have a bad shoulder, loading the heavy 100-pound kayak onto my car and dragging it through the bush, it was terrible. I dreaded it. I liked fishing in it once I was in the water, but it was terrible to load. This, on the other hand, like I said, it's made of aluminum. It weighs 55 pounds. 55 pounds. And it's just as, actually this particular 14-footer is wider than my super stable kayak that I used to have. I can literally hold this like this above my body with one hand. That's how lightweight it is. It's super easy to transport. So again, if you're a smaller person, or if you have difficulty lifting really heavy things, or if you're a little older, something like this is a lot more manageable to transport. And again, once you get in the water, it's great. But some of those big kayaks, they're just a pain in the butt. They weigh a butt ton. Terrible. Another reason that we got the canoe is for camping. Camping in a kayak is terrible. We've all tried it. Having all this storage space to put all your camping stuff, it's way better. Plus 2 people, even 3 people in here, plus loading it up, it's great. Another reason I picked this this canoe is this is a flatback. It's a full transom. So it's literally, I think it's like 36 inch at the back. I can add a trolling motor on there easily. It's already rigged up. It has the transom in the back to put on a motor. You can even have up to a 3 or 4 horsepower motor on the back. I wanted something with a trolling motor just because we troll around small lakes and rivers, and eventually we're going to get a little gas motor. But I looked at kayaks that could take trolling motors, and they're very expensive. Even the cheap Pelican ones that can accept a trolling motor were way more than this canoe. So that kind of really turned me off. And pedal drive, to me, it's not the right thing. Because we fish in a lot of shallow weeds and stuff. The pedals, they're not really meant to be going around cover and weeds and stuff like that. And plus, pedal drive, you have to pedal. I don't want to sound lazy, but you have to pedal it. A trolling motor, you can just fish while you're standing up. When you're in a pedal drive, you can't do that unless you're sitting down. Sitting down pedaling, that's not for me. I like to stand up so I can look down and see the fish. I have the trolling motor running on the back with the battery at the front to even it out. And I can be casting and skipping under docks in this thing standing up while I'm moving. So in my opinion, it's much more versatile than being in a pedal drive kayak. Now you may say you can get kayaks with trolling motors inside of them. Those are ridiculously priced. They're $4,000, $5,000, $6,000. I can buy a boat for that much. So This is, in my opinion, the cheapest way to get a powered boat. You can get a trolling motor, a battery, and this boat and be ready to go for under $2,000. So that's just my thoughts on that. So my thoughts so far, having it out, the first time we got it out, we were amazed. We had read about how stable these things were, but we were amazed at how stable it is. As you can see, it's very wide. It's about 40-inch wide, maybe 39-inch. And it's like that all the way back because I got the wide transom. So if you're standing in the back, you do not feel like tipping over at all. It's so stable. I can't even describe how stable it is. You can literally rock back and forth. You don't feel like you're gonna tip. We've been fishing in canoes for 20 years, and my buddy Andrew has, a nice portage canoe that's very lightweight and super fast to paddle, but the thing is tippy as heck. This thing is the opposite of that. It is hard to paddle if you're gonna paddle it, but it's stable as heck. We can both stand and fish at the same time. So if you're looking for something that you can stand and fish, this canoe is literally, I'd recommend it 100%. We even stand if there's a little bit of chop. It doesn't have to be calm water either. It's so wide, it's a flat bottom, it's super stable. I can't say enough how stable it is. So if that's on your list, stability, that's the way to go. A lot of kayaks are stable too, but again, you're paying for that with the weight and the fishing by yourself. Another thing I'll say about it is when you have a motor on it and you're going, it doesn't track very well because it doesn't have a keel on the bottom. It's literally just a flat bottom. So you will find you have to adjust the trolling motor a little more than if you were in like a V-haul or something. Not a big deal. It's not like I didn't expect it to motor very well. It just, the trolling motor pushes it along very nicely. No complaints about that. My buddy has the same canoe, but the 16-footer, he has a 2.5 horsepower Yamaha on it, and that thing flies. It's like a little rocket. You see it go. These things are so lightweight. You get any motor on it, it just pushes. So again, we're really happy. It's super stable, super lightweight, very easy to fish out of. I can put all my fishing stuff in here, and I usually bring like 5 or 6 or more rods with me. It all fits in. I got rod holders put on. With a trolling motor, I can but I can scoot around the lake all day on my battery. It's a class 29 AGM battery, but I've never drained the battery. It pushes this boat no problem. It's been fantastic. I don't know, I guess I'm just rambling at this point, but if you're looking to get a Sportspal, there's very few disadvantages of doing so. They're just great boats. But if you have any questions about owning a Sportspal or where to get it, or other questions that you may have, definitely leave me a message below.